It's Button Shy Week here at Bad at Board Games, and so here's a quick review for you. Hello!
Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Blake.
I'm Toph Ferguson.
And we're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. Toph, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Battlecrest, a Button Shy game that is designed by Dustin, Dobson, and Milan, Zivkovic, and it is published by Button Shy Games.
Button Shy Battlecrest. Say that 10 times fast.
Yes, that's a lot of B.
Button
like
Shy
bad at board games.
Yeah, bad.
Yes. So, Button Shy Battlecrest is a newer game by Button Shy Games. This is definitely something I think you guys should check out. Stick around. We'll talk about why we think that's the case, and you'll hear our review as well.
Yeah, so the mechanics on this are kind of cool. You have a grid where you have like a terrain, and it's not like a 9x9 grid. You're going to have spaces in that grid, and those spaces are where your character slides around and moves. And in orthogonal directions, that's one movement space, right? And some of the terrain are going to let you like have a shortcut through it. Other terrain are blockers, but they give you abilities, and the cards flip back and forth depending on if you use that ability or not. So it's the typical, you know, I'm battling you, you have 10 hit points, and I'm a close combat guy, and you're a ranger, and you want to stay away from me guy, and whoever can get to 0, you know, put the other opponent to 0 wins. So it's, but, you know, once again, Button Shy gives you something you can put in your wallet, take with you, and it does have an autonoma. We haven't played the autonoma, but it is there set up so that if you want to play, you know, against the AI, it tells you what to do and when to do it. So it does exist. It does exist.
I do believe you need an expansion in order to go into that AI in order to do solo mode. But honestly, with a game like this, I don't know if I'd want to play it solo. I think this is a game that I definitely want to sit down and play against somebody else. And I am not a battle type player. So that's maybe saying something.
Yeah, and we both played each character, and I think there's a hand-to-hand character, and then there's a character that's at range with a minion. And I would say that the hand-to-hand character seems easier.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
So just be aware of that. Like if you're a little bit more savvy at these kind of things and somebody else isn't, let them be the hand-to-hand person, because they might be able to just run up as quickly as you can and try to do as much damage, where the other person's trying to kind of evade, but they have some hand-to-hand as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit more complexity, especially with the fact that not only do you have your character, but you also have a minion who you're able to move around. And your minion can take damage, but your minion also can prevent damage on the other player. And that is mutiny. There are different characters, and I am assuming this is going to be a game that Button Shy is going to put out different expansions with new characters to be able to add in with different player abilities. But I did see, both of us found that this one was easier. Both of us won with this one.
Right.
When I played this one, I completely destroyed you. And it came down in the last game to pretty much the final play of the game. Either Brad was going to kill me or I was going to kill him. Turns out Brad killed me. So, you know, we are pretty evenly matched when it comes to the game itself. But there are definitely challenges, I would say, more so with this one than that one.
I just think that less hit points, and it may be less hit points because you got the drone that you're going to have to use the drone in that one.
You do. You do.
If you want to win.
The game itself really does, going a little bit more into the mechanics, there's some great things that Button Shy does. Button Shy games come typically with 18 cards. So you don't have a lot of cards to be able to do things. All of these cards are double-sided, and all of the cards are used in different ways. And if you watched our review of Wild Tales, you'll remember the same thing. You were turning the cards to do different effects. And that's exactly what you've got, especially with your player cards themselves. They all have crests on them. They all have different things that you are going to be able to use to your advantage as you go through playing the cards. And so you do want to kind of read up on that a little bit. I think that's the most challenging part of this game, is trying to figure out what does what when. And so you want to be able to chain things together to be able to prepare yourself for an even bigger attack against your opponent.
Yeah, and you have these powers that go along with your character, right? And there's a starting side, and you can flip them. So I think it's trying to figure out, like, if you flip all of them to the other side, they're not as powerful as if you flipped some to the one side and then get them on the same rotation, right? But I think it's a fun, cute game. It takes 10-minute, 15 minutes?
10-15 minutes, yeah.
You know, it's a filler game. I think a lot of the games from Button Shy are, and which make them nice, right? They're interesting little puzzles. I would say this is more than just a mind, a brain burner, brain burner light. No, this is like a battle game that you might want to have this experience, but it does fit in your pocket. You don't need a miniature. You don't need even a little box, and you still feel like you're kind of having that same experience.
Yeah, you're not measuring anything out because it's got a grid. You're playing with that grid, and it is definitely. I think this is the most different of the Button Shy games that I've played, because it is not just a solo puzzle. And so
yeah, so
I like it.
Do these have a weight? Are these like 2s?
I would say in terms of a weight rating for it, with this game, maybe I would go into 2.2, maybe somewhere around that range. It is definitely not even a solid medium weight game, but this one does, because you have variable players, because each of them are playing a little bit different, and their cards are always going to be different, because even while you only have 3 or 4 cards to be able to choose your powers from, you're constantly flipping them. And the orders that you flip them is going to change the game. So, things like that add the complexity to it. So it's not a 2.5, I wouldn't say, maybe 2.2.
Right. So probably with the Button Shy games, one thing we should discuss that we don't normally discuss consistently with other games is the rules. So we played the pirate game, and we've got a review up on that. And the rules for that were rough.
Yes.
They were rough. So kind of want to, as we go through this week of Button Shy, if you were to say 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, you pick the rating, Toph. How easy or how well written were these rules?
Yeah. So we'll stick 1 to 5 because that's our weight rating and things like that, value rating. With this one, I would say the rules were somewhere around, I'd say a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
the first
4 being easy.
4 being, relatively easy to understand. The first time reading through it, I had to go back again. And the reason you have to go back is because of icons. So, iconography is always going to be a thing, but I would say somewhere around,
Yeah, and you will have that on all the Button Shy games. They have to figure out how to make
and
all these cards have a whole bunch of different things and the way you flip back and forth and rotate. So, well, that's not too bad.
No.
So, value rating, these usually range between a $10 and $20 game.
Yeah, most of them are $12. Some of them are $15, depending on if they have added expansions into it.
Yeah.
So, but all of these are all $12.
Yep. And so Button Shy did send us this. They kind of send out blast emails and like, would you be interested in reviewing it? I'm like, yeah, I like Button Shy games. Let's review it. So, take that into account. But I think this for $12, if it was $1, it's a 5 out of 5 value rating. You're like, oh my, you're going to get all this for $1. You're not. However, if it were $20 or $30, it's got to start getting into like, you can get some $20 games in a box, right? And a little bit better production and things. So then something like this would probably be pushing down more to a 1 or a 2 level value. But I think they've done a good job of pricing their games based on what they're putting in it. So you get these 18 cards, you get the little wallet to go with it, and the experience, even if I were to only play this 2 times, I think it's worth $12. So I would say in general, and I'll probably talk about this for every one of these, I'm going to give any of these between a 3 and a 4, and it's really going to depend on, do you like Button Shy games? I think they're kind of fun, so I'm going to push them more toward a 4. If you think they're like, it's okay, then you're probably going to be at a 3. But I don't think you're going to go wrong for the amount of money that you're spending and the experience that you get out of it.
Yeah. And if you're looking to get that at a little bit better of a value and you're willing to do some arts and crafts, Button Shy typically is going to offer this as a print and play as well. That is going to require you to have paper, ink, cutters, all that kind of stuff. So take that into account. But you are getting it for, I think it's about $3, maybe $6 as a print and play. If you're going to order them, having them as actual linen cards and the case is nice.
Yeah.
So excellent.
Works out very well.
Yeah. Do you want to give it a rating, a BGG rating?
Yeah. So most of these are going to, for me, I think this is going to land at a 7, right? I would like to play it. I think when I have short amount of time. If I've got 3 hours, I'm going to want to play something else. But I could see this is that easily a 7. I like it. It's cute. and you can just sit down there and play it about anywhere. So,
Yep. Excellent.
How about you?
I am going to give this actually a 7 as well. Although I feel like I like it a little bit more than maybe you do, just because I'm already wanting to check out other characters. Like, I'm ready for expansions for it to be able to add in. I am not typically a battle type person, and this, maybe I'll change it to 7.5. This actually is a battle game that I want to play. So,
yeah, and so maybe like for me, the reason I would say 7, I could even say 6.5, right? Because I like battle systems, and I don't get the same feel, but it's a nice, fun little thing, right? Yeah. So 6.5 to 7. I'm a 7-, he's a 7+. How about
there we go. That works. That works.
You know, it's still like, when you look at the definition of a 7 on BGG, this fits.
Still a good game. Yeah.
This fits it.
So that is our quick review of this game, Battlecrest by Button Shy Games. Check it out. All we have to say about it pretty much are pros. There's not a whole lot of cons for it. Fun little battle game if you're looking for something to play together.
Yep. Check out our other Button Shy reviews this week. It's going to be the 7 days of Button Shy, and they have a Kickstarter going, and I'll be doing a review on that as well. No matter how you play, whether it's solo, with family, or friends,
enjoy whatever games you are bringing to the table.
Have a great day.